Girl, it's a tunic.
Oh,
I can't I can't fully allow myself to go into fall yet.
yeah,
As
no.
we're there, but like I'm
But we're
stubborn.
not there. We're there, but we're not. And I mean, to be real, it doesn't get like the winters aren't as harsh as early anymore, which is nice. So it really,
No, I'm with you on that. How is I almost said Florida winter. How's the California
what?
winter? Wow, my head is just bloop, out of here.
Well, the winter, last winter was like very rainy, to my surprise. It rained a lot. It floods out here. So
Oh yeah.
it was just kind of crazy. And it gets cold. I regretted throwing all my coats out before I moved here.
You threw your coats out. You are a wild woman, and I love that about you.
Yeah. Well, I like donated and gave
I
them
know.
away. But I was like, I'm not bringing these. I don't need these. But it gets down in the 30s at night. And some mornings it's like, 38, 40. Like you could see your breath. And
Yes, crispy.
I was like, okay.
How you doing, Renique?
I haven't seen her. Where is she?
Girl,
Oh,
She's
I was just
like
at
okay.
work.
the JoJo's.
No, not even JoJo, the other one. This is the problem. This is the problem. I got too many
Um,
jobs,
mm.
and none of them pay enough.
She's a Renaissance woman. I love that.
So we went to a little dog adoption event this morning. They only
Dog
brought one dog. I was very
adoption.
upset. There was only one dog. She was cute or whatever, but she was not enough to go around.
Yeah, I was gonna say I mean, the odds of the dog getting adopted are pretty good.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well,
But
dang
it was
ya.
fine, ran around there. Now I'm here. And I was just on a call with my brother. He's like, oh, call me. It needs to be a video call. I'm like, okay, fine, cool. What's up? Haven't seen you in a minute. He bought a new car. Mind
Wow.
you,
Did you say
mind
it was
you,
a good deal?
this is the same brother who was here before, who needs to get his life together. So, I asked him how much car costs. He was like, a lot.
Yeah.
I said,
What's
okay.
a lot?
I said, so wait, what's like your monthly payment? He's like, a lot. I'm like, I figured that much.
What's
What's
a
a
lot?
lot?
So the car was probably like at least like around 30,000-ish.
600.
However, this is his first car and he has bad credit.
I'm scared for him.
And they let him leave, like not put nothing down, just out here free balling life.
I'm scared for him, Brittany.
But like he grown or whatever. So, these are decisions grown folks be making out here.
Tell me. The anticipation is killing me.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. He didn't really want to talk about it, but he wanted to show that he has, leather interiors and he has a sunroof.
I'm with
But
a
like,
yes.
the gas is cheaper in Texas. So like at least there's that.
Girl math. It all balances out.
He's like, I need to get a better job. But now that I have a car, I could probably find a better job because I have better transportation.
What? One should go before the other.
It
I'm
don't
joking.
even matter.
Just
It
wow.
don't even matter.
Thought. You know what? Best of luck.
I mean, to be fair, he doesn't have any other bills. I know. I know. Must
Well,
be nice.
I was about to say, wait, must be nice.
Because he lives with my dad, and my dad, he's for everything. So he be complaining to me like, I have to eat leftovers. And I'm like, yeah, you have leftover steak. I have leftover chicken. We are
I
not the
love
same.
leftovers. But like, I get it. Like, our struggle is not the same.
At all.
It's Jazz and I talked about this before. It's like, oh, why is everybody so up in arms? Oh, they knew broke. We old broke.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're new broke. Yeah, they're
Exactly.
They don't know what it's like to struggle. They're
We
new broke.
we've been doing this. It's not even a
Yeah.
thing.
And it's not broke if all your bills are paid. That's responsible.
I mean,
I mean, it's
I
not
say
as
that, right?
fun. It's
I
not as
say that.
fun.
However,
But
me and Caitlin definitely left the office and went straight to Joann's yesterday. I didn't buy anything.
I almost want to say, show me the camera footage. Like,
I didn't. She did.
what?
I bought nothing. She spent like $40 on yarn and we got a cute little pumpkin for her new office.
Oh, they have the
Very important.
cutest decorations there.
I'm happy for Galen, but it's like, I'm gonna miss you, buddy.
I know, like I now have to start doodling on your board, I guess. Like, I don't know.
Oh,
Christine's gonna
God.
have to get used to me like popping into her office and sitting down for 20-minute chats.
Jesus Christ, Renique, I'm gonna get nothing done in phone. Yeah, I think I'm the most stressed I've been in my entire life, so I'll probably welcome those interruptions.
I'll bring my laptop. We can actually work.
We'll see what happens. I mean, it's anybody's game here.
You know, we don't get paid enough for this anyway. So what gets done gets done.
I'm stressed.
Obviously, we're short-staffed, remember? So
I, I, I just, no. Well, hell, don't let me keep you. Shall I dive into today's topic?
sure, we can do
Yeah.
that.
Okay. And I know I've been keeping y'all uh on the edge of your seat, but let me introduce ourselves. Hi, everybody. This is In the Mix podcast. This is season 1, episode 4, and I'm Jess. I'm here with my amazing co-hosts, Jasmine and Renique. And today,
Hello.
yeah, hey y'all. Today we're gonna be talking about enhanced interrogation techniques.
Oh,
I know.
I'm not ready.
Okay, neither am I, and it's a doozy. I'm gonna just say first and foremost. Okay, all right.
okay.
So, enhanced interrogation techniques, y'all, if I could speak, um, or as they're alternately referenced, government sanctioned torture. I shouldn't make that face. It's an awkward face, not a
You're
smile
like,
face.
We off the
But now
grid
that
with
I've got your
these,
attention, and before I totally forget, don't forget to subscribe to our channel on all of our platforms, YouTube, Patreon, and the whatnot, whatever you're hearing us on, really. We greatly appreciate your support and we love to hear from you. Email us with a topic submission request or sponsorship request. No
yeah.
pressure, no pressure. You can hit us at In the Mix Pod. That's mix with 2 X's, y'all, at gmail.com. And yeah, let me go ahead. We do have a fun little sponsor for today's episode. I just want to give a quick plug to our fellow creator, Caitlin. Their custom invitation shop called Celicam Designs has been a
Oh,
huge supporter of ours. You can find them on Insta and Etsy. And I will totally link their shop links so y'all can check them out. The high
yeah.
quality, unique eye for detail, and dare I say, non-chuggy takes across the board. For real, make it a must-have vendor, y'all, for next party, as I would say, or
Period.
celebration. And yeah, I'll totally include the links. They're awesome. And that's all I'm gonna say. Okay. So now really diving into this hot mess. I warn you, lock it in. All right. So I don't remember I mean, I remember, but I don't know where y'all were for 9/11. Jazz
Yeah.
and we were like 5th, 6th grade, something like that.
I was in 6th grade, yeah,
Yeah.
in what was it? Social studies?
I was in math class because fuck my life. But I was in 5th grade. Rini, do you remember? I know you
I
a
was
bit.
young, y'all.
I know. I know.
I mean, I was alive. I know that much. You know, I was probably at school somewhere
Somewhere
in
tooling around.
Texas. Somewhere in Texas.
Somewhere in
What grade
Texas.
were you in?
We're showing our age,
I don't
Jess.
know, first, second,
Damn.
maybe.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Probably first. Probably first.
So you're just, living. You're
A
just
wee
like,
lapse.
I'm here.
Just out here at recess, you know?
Yeah. Vibing
Yeah.
out on the side, hanging on for dear life. Same. But yeah, let's go right into that. It was a crazy day. Definitely one of those snapshot moments in my head. Little did my little baby brain know, almost immediately after the 9/11 attacks, the Bush administration officials decided to treat the attacks as attacks of war. as you may have. We had like a 20-year war. Some would say it's not done. But anyways, rather than mere crimes, they're going to call it acts of war. And what this does, this poignant question arose from this, were captured prisoners to be treated as prisoners of war? One would think. Let's proceed. So officials like the Justice Department lawyer John Yoo recommended classifying them as detainees outside the protection of the Geneva Conventions or any other domestic or military law, and incarcerating these individuals, like these detainees, in special, I'm going to say, facilities, because prisons is too nice. Believe it or not, prisons is too nice. So the Justice Department, their like legal team was like, yeah, we're gonna call them detainees so we can avoid having to provide certain protections that the Geneva Convention provides for people that are classified as a prisoner. So what happened instead is they're kept in these like barrack-like camps, like makeshift, kind of like I don't even know how, just shitty camps. So for clarity's
Yeah.
sake, prisoners have clearly outlined rights and protections within the Geneva Convention. It's basically like we all agree we're not going to treat each other as prisoners, whatever they may be, like shit. We're going to treat them with human rights and respect and, give them food and whatever. Um, but while detainees on the other, I don't know why I keep clapping my hands. I'm just so, ooh. Detainees, on the other hand, they have a bit more ambiguous wiggle room in that aspect. But anyway, stick with me. So, per the Human Rights First Network, and I will link this source in our show notes, the CIA's detention and interrogation program allowed the use of so-called enhanced interrogation techniques on detainees captured after 9/11. And it was conducted, like they began diving into this plan, if you will, between 2002 and 2009. Like that freaks me out. I was an active human. Like I was
Oh my God.
2009. That wasn't, I mean, it was a while ago, but not that long ago. So, and this was all done with the authorization of like presidential officials, like the officials in the Bush administration, their White House, and the Department of Justice. That creeps me out. That creeps me out. So nice. I don't even know what to do to that. So let me jump back in time. So on September 17th, 2001, y'all, President Bush, pardon, signed a still classified directive giving the CIA, oh, and that's Central Intelligence Agency for our non-American listeners, the power to secretly and imprison, excuse me, to the power to secretly imprison and interrogate these detainees. So
Ooh,
executive order, go for it. You can
ooh.
you can take them and secretly imprison them.
He said, I'll sign it.
He said, whoosh, 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 do it, full sign.
America.
I mean,
Not,
how bold of someone to assume,
we weren't
like
going to find out.
who gave you the power to say, actually, this person is not going to be treated like a regular human, okay? Okay. Go take them, off the grid.
Secretly, like what their family had no
Of
answers.
course, no. And they had no answers to give them because they were not allowed.
I'm not even sure real records were kept, to be totally honest with you. Like, do they know who they had? They
To be
did, because
fair,
why
if
would they
I was
even bother?
being that type of shisty asshole, I probably wouldn't keep records. You don't
That's
want a paper trail.
messy. But you're totally right. Why would you want people to follow along with your
Hmm.
logged government sanctioned torture? Like that's not going to age well, honey.
Exactly.
I just sipped like I'm spilling the tea. Um, but yes, this the secretly part that fucks with me. Okay, so imprison and interrogate. So, anyways, as early as November 2021, oh my God, 2001, the CIA General Counsel began considering the legality of torture, y'all. So basically, using physical force against hundreds of detainees, and how could it serve as a possible basis for arguing that, try and wrap your head around this, torture serve as a possible basis that torture was necessary to prevent future harm to people I'm assuming domestically and internationally.
Oh,
So hurting people a as a basis for other people to in the future to not get hurt.
it's like regressing. Like, do we want to go back to medieval times?
No,
'Cause how well did that work out for
exactly.
them?
I think they're trying to say they were sacrificing a few for the many. However, they're completely wrong still because, there's this whole, 20 plus year war and whatnot that also
Hmm.
affected many, 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 many people.
Yeah.
Therefore, first
Millions.
off, you just lying.
You're
You're
just
They
saying,
lying.
lying.
you're just saying
They
stuff.
lying.
You're lying. Just say you have ulterior, nefarious motives and move on. Like, let's just call it what it is.
Just,
You
yeah,
have
call it what it
motives.
is. Say
So,
you were mad and you wanted to be okay to punish these people for what happened, and you made an excuse for it.
Hmm.
now, mind you, these people weren't great people. That's beside the point, though. That's beside the point when it's a human being, there should be
Right.
like base level human rights.
Right.
Mhm.
And they're
But anyway,
showing how they're also not good people by coming up with this little
Yeah,
loophole.
like come
yes,
on.
Like,
exactly. It's like, wait, what? I had to reread it so many times, and I was like, oh no, they are trying to say that this is a demo, like this is giving them basis for saying, no, we're doing this torture and whatnot to people for they did something bad, we're going to torture them. So hopefully, people in the future won't hurt other people.
but also it's like,
Yeah, it makes
you know
sense.
how people will be like, oh, like, okay, this is this isn't actually politically correct in this day and age. However, so remember back when it's like you get a whooping and your siblings know about
Yes.
it to make sure that they don't do the same thing.
Ouch.
However, in this situation though, you're not even telling all the other siblings about the whooping, so they don't even know not to do it. You're keeping everything under wraps.
Right, because it's
Hmm.
like, oh
That's
my God, I
great.
just got my
Yeah.
ass whooped. I don't want to tell anybody about that. But it's not going to prevent anybody else's ass from getting whooped because what
Right.
doesn't make sense. And it's very self-serving and disgusting, personally. I'm not a fan of, I don't know, breaking human like rights laws. Anyways, let me push forward. So now that we've got that under our bonnets, I'm going to break down what you think. Let me just get into it. So you may be wondering, like me, what the balls did I just hear? How many people did this happen to? Well, my pals, I'm going to preface the remainder of this episode with a blanket trigger warning because it's about to get yuck. Okay, I just can't help but say yuck.
Okay.
We're going to be touching on some really gnarly and horrifying treatment to fellow humans. Remember, like no one's in the right here, no, but a lot is in the wrong. So during that time, 8 years or so, 119 detainees were held in CIA custody, primarily at the infamous Guantanamo Bay. Yeah, guys. So this is almost like I don't want to say a neutral zone because it's not, but it is a kind of like no ask, no tell kind of sort of thing.
Okay.
So this took place primarily, like I said, at the infamous Guantanamo Bay and Abu Ghraib. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that correctly. If not, we'll keep it pushing. The Abu Ghraib prison. And that is going to be a full episode for another time because that is a whole ball of wax, my friends. But at least 39 people were subjected to these techniques I'm going to get into. And these techniques constitute torture, cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment. And all of this, it's both illegal under US and international law. What I'm about to get into. It's crazy. And several of these detainees were, and this is just like a glaze over, were waterboarded, and the CIA often like to use a combination of tactics such as sleep deprivation, keeping them in stress positions, solitary confinement, sensory deprivation, and simultaneously shackling them. Sometimes while being in solitary confinement. So it's like, what? You're shackled to yourself in solitary confinement. I mean, it's torture. So,
Disgusting.
yeah. So now in this next stretch, I'm going to be going into more detail about what these so-called enhanced interrogation and related interrogation techniques are and the physical and psychological effects of their use. So, yeah, y'all, trigger warning. It's not great. It's not great. So, I was going to go alphabetical, but then I said, nah. All right. So, first up, I'm going to touch on waterboarding. This is probably one of the more well-known torture tactics. So, waterboarding creates a sensation of asphyxiation or drowning. Ugh. That is probably it's just a, ugh. So the detainee is immobilized on their back and water is poured over a cloth, like covering their face. And far from the dunking the water, like, let's just say White House officials said that there was just a dunking of heads in water, like, if you're bobbing for apples. No. It was more like near drowning of these people. And these detainees were often waterboarded so repeatedly. I think, not even I think, it's listed here. One detainee was waterboarded at least 183 times. Near drowning. The psychological fuckery that would take place in a human being's mind. Like, my brothers used to dunk me in the pool as a kid, and I'm still fucked up from it. And because they, of course, would like hold you down when you're flapping and splashing. But that's like my brothers, and I didn't think they were trying to kill me. Like, the jury is out. But they were genuinely trying to instill this type of, well, I'm gonna die in these prisoners, or excuse me, these detainees. So another detainee was waterboarded so often that it led them at least once to become completely unresponsive with bubbles rising like through their mouth.
Oh my God.
Like a bubble machine. Like, that's fucked. And this torture tactic, I mean, it makes sense, can also lead to bleeding from your ears and severe, obviously, lung and brain damage because you're exerting such a trauma to those organs. It's not supposed to do that. And it
Yeah.
really causes lasting psychological damage because you're getting psych out, drowned. I don't know. It's really fucked up.
Yeah.
The next one is walling. In my mind, I thought it was being forced to do wall sits. It is not. This technique actually involves encircling the detainee's neck with like a collar or a towel and then like slamming them against the wall.
Hmm?
Yeah, and they're supposed to use like a fake wall. I don't know what a fake wall would be
Yeah. Well,
to like avoid injuries and whatnot, because you can like really fuck yourself up imagine like getting slammed into a wall. That's not good for your body. Excuse me, let alone like your skull. Just like
yeah, that's
snapping.
insane. And like, why the collar?
I don't know. I think it's like good grip. I don't know. Ugh. So,
Mm.
despite the requirement to use a fake wall to avoid injury, detainees were often slammed against concrete walls. Yeah. Yeah. And even in the event that a false wall was used, a detainee suffered extreme injury. One suffered an edema or swelling on his head, like as a consequence of walling with the use of a false wall. What's a false wall? Now, this one, Jazz, you would hate. Sleep deprivation, which, fun fact, can kill you after just 10 days. I was going to say just, that's a chunk of time.
Yeah, that's wow.
The detainees were kept awake by being shackled, forced to stand, or kept in stress positions in an attempt to destroy their capacity for psychological resistance. So they would just become like zombies.
Yeah, you could probably get them to confess to anything once they're like so tired and
Yeah, probably shit that
desperate.
wasn't even true. I don't know.
Okay, wait, quick, super quick side note. I did watch a video recently of a guy who was essentially forced into confessing that he killed his own dad. And his
Eh.
dad was alive still.
Ooh.
Oh my
I'll
God.
send you the link. I'll send the link. But yeah, like yeah. So like the fact that that happened lets you know that you don't even need, obviously you don't need, but like without even all these advanced high level torture tactics,
Yeah.
like people have confessed to craziness.
That's
So the fact that they're doing all this is so beyond next level.
and like
Yeah.
tying it in with other techniques,
Right.
like
What type
not
of person is so unsound that they can actually do that to another human,
um
you
Mengele.
know?
Like okay, so yeah, it's pretty gross. So the sleep deprivation, like I said, just over 10 days or so, and it could kill you. So after they're kept in this psychological destroyed resistance or whatever, this is routinely combined, like I said, with other techniques. They like to tie it in with nudity, round the clock, interrogation. Although not like overtly violent, extended periods of sleep deprivation can have painful and damaging mental and physical effects. Like after being forced to stand for 54 hours, one detainee required blood thinners, y'all, to treat the swelling in their legs because a human's not supposed to do that. Think about it. We lay down, we sit, we we ambulate, we're out and about doing things so we can have circulation. Dude, standing 54 hours straight.
I can
Straight.
barely stand for like an hour straight,
Girl,
going somewhere in line.
it's crazy. And this one part's so sad. Following 56 hours without sleep, another detainee suffered from violent hallucinations of dogs mauling and killing his family.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. This next one, y'all, you ain't ready for it. You're not, because this is the one that gets me. Blech. It's so yuck. It's so yuck. Okay, I'm sorry. I might be overhyping it. Not hyping, but like, Okay, so this one, standing on broken feet. Whoa. So, as an extreme form of sleep deprivation, two detainees to where they were forced to stand for hours with broken feet. Despite recommendations that they avoid weight bearing for 3 months, they underwent 52 hours of standing with sleep deprivation on their broken foot, barely a month after this diagnosis. So they weren't supposed to be standing on that foot for 3 months. So, anyways, while they were injured, these detainees were also subjected to walling. So not only were their feet broken, and then they had to stand on these broken bones. Ugh. Imagine how much, I don't know how much a grown ass man weighs, depending on your height, 190 pounds. I don't know, 250 pounds. I don't know. On broken feet? Ugh. It
I
just
don't, I can't even imagine.
skews me out so bad.
I'm
So,
also assuming like they're obviously not feeding them properly or anything. So it's
oh, absolutely
like
not.
you're just wasting away while being tortured.
It's really disturbing because if this were happening to American prisoners, we'll get into it in a different episode. But think about it. Think about it. Just food for thought. So, anyways, let me get into that little potato. So yeah, think about that. Standing on broken feet. The next one is solitary confinement. And this doesn't sound like the worst, but it's definitely not great. So detainees were regularly confined with no opportunity for social interaction. This was often combined with nudity, sensory deprivation, total darkness, or constant light, shackling, you name it. One detainee was isolated naked in their cell with bright lights and white noise or loud playing music. I would just lose my mind. I'd be like, I can't sleep. It's so loud.
When
Or
you
it's just
said
like,
bright lights all the time, I was like,
yeah. I'd be like,
we're
no,
dark.
no big lights. Like, we can only do twinkle lights or soft lighting. Um, but yeah, that's terrible. And at one point, they were kept for 47 days in total isolation. And the
Oh my
dangers of,
God.
yeah, nah. The dangers of solitary confinement were recognized by the United States Supreme Court as early as 1890, where the court described prisoners becoming violently insane, committing suicide, and partial loss of their mental activities. So, yeah, let's maybe not do that to that extent. You know what I mean? I understand like solitary confinement is also a way to protect someone, someone, but uh, this is inhuman. Like that's not, no, no.
Yeah, me and someone were just talking about how you need quality human interaction to stay sane.
Yeah,
And it's so true.
like relationship, even if it's just like speaking.
Another person. How many
Yeah.
days? 47 days they were?
Yeah, at one point they were kept for 47 days in
Oh, wow.
total isolation, like no
That's
sound, no, so fucked,
over
so
a
fucked.
month.
Yeah. So this next one, it's that I've been talking about stress positions. These positions are designed to cause pain and discomfort for extended periods of time, and were often used in combination with sleep deprivation because why you don't want them to get comfy and fall asleep, so let's fuck their day up. So not cool. Detainees were shackled with their arms over their heads, forced to stay standing, or were placed in cramped confinement. Oh, this one's such as coffin-sized boxes. A detainee was subjected to improvised stress positions that not only caused cuts and bruises, but led to the intervention of a medical officer who was concerned that one of the detainees' shoulders would be dislocated. The
Wow.
same detainee was confined to a coffin-shaped box for a total of over 11 days. Pissing, shitting, probably barfing, I don't know,
My
in this
God.
coffin box. I
Like, what did that give them? What did they,
mean,
what did,
think of the atmosphere. Like I remember what it was like, everything. I mean, it was very America fuck yeah, but it was also like, you get them bastards that brought this, that.
yes,
And I understood to an extent as a child. Like I said, it was fifth and sixth grade, first grade.
right,
We were kids,
right.
literal children. We didn't have the comprehension to fully take in what was happening around us. And these adults were making these decisions
The
where,
adults were scared and
yeah,
making
yeah,
the
oh my God,
decisions.
you're
Yeah,
totally right. It was a moment of, oh, the our parents and the adults are afraid. Like this has never happened before. And I can forgive that not knowing, but
right, not knowing, but
this was calculated. This was fucked. Like I can't even make words enough for this. Like,
I don't think our parents would have been okay if I don't think anyone would have been okay if they knew about this.
I didn't know about
Like
this until recently, and now I gotta
they
tell everybody.
were you said it perfectly. Like everyone was very much America, fuck yeah, and like pissed off. Obviously, it was scary. Like, it was,
Yeah,
yes,
people were
all of those feelings
enlisting
are
so much.
validated.
Yeah,
But
I don't think these soldiers were really, and God bless our soldiers, baby. You know it. I know that's
mhm,
right. Um, I have family that did a tour in Afghanistan for the Iraqi war as well, and that shit was so scary. And they tell me stories from it, and couldn't be me. So I seriously, like, I'm so grateful for our troops,
yeah,
but they did not. Their hard work should not be reflected in any way to this,
right, 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 right.
because this is disgusting. My all right. So this next one, y'all, not really not good. When I said the other ones weren't good, this isn't good. Rectal feeding and rectal exams. So, yeah, rectal feedings, they were used for prisoners who refused food and entails the insertion of a tube containing pureed food into the detainee's anal passage. This was used for behavior control without medical necessity, despite risks of damage to the colon and rectum, which is where you do not want any perforation, y'all. That is such a high risk for um, just like rips and tears and like infection and sepsis and all that shit. And you don't need that. It's a rough way to go. So, despite the risk, like I said, of damage to the colon and the rectum, or food rotting inside the digestive tract, y'all, like, ugh, they did it anyways. So, one
I just had
detainee.
to scream.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so
Just
sorry.
needed to scream.
I have to, let me just take it. Let's everybody take a quick breath. I'm not good. I'm smiling right now and giggling, but it's not. It's
Same.
not happy. It's awkward, uncomfortable. I hate this. But one detainee suffered rectal prolapse, likely caused by overly harsh rectal exams. Overly harsh? Pardon? I need a therapy dog, animal, anything, because this is just so. I like putting it makes me want to cry because I put myself into these shoes of, in my mind, just if you notice, I keep saying they and them. I took the sex out of it so people can kind of humanize what's happening. Like you can't just be like, oh, well, they or he, or excuse me, she or he, they deserve what they got. They, who are they? Children,
They're just
women,
people.
fathers. Like you don't know who they are. Why are you doing these things? So, anyways, anywho, sorry, I needed to take a beat right there. The next one we have here, the technique is nudity. And while some of us may be comfortable with nudity, can be a form of sexual humiliation, and it relies a lot on cultural and religious taboos. So, you know, and requiring detainees to be fully or partially naked during interrogations or when they're shackled is just, like I said, it's a form of humiliation. It's disgusting. And nudity was also regularly combined with cold temperatures and cold showers. And like that is the worst. Getting wet while you're already cold, or vice versa. Nah. Uh-uh. So I forgot I wrote this. One detainee died of suspected hypothermia following 48 hours of sleep deprivation while half naked in an extremely cold room. Yeah, cool. Not cool.
Actually died. Wow.
And that goes to show that housing should be a human right. And that's another
Absolutely.
episode. Yeah. Because as you can see, we die. It's just so ugh. But I press on. Anyways, so in another technique they use were threats. I know it sounds simple, but what okay. Detainees were threatened with further physical torture, as well as violence, death, or sexual abuse against their family. So just that, imagine, I mean, you're being tortured. It's sanctioned by the government that's holding you. What's to say they're not going to do these things? That is
Mm-hmm.
so terrible. Like that's so awful to just fuck with their head. Oh, yuck. But anyways, one CIA officer operated a cordless drill near a detainee's body while they were blindfolded. So imagine you have no idea what they're gonna do to you. They could just, you have no idea. I would be shitting my pants. Or
Yeah.
no pants, because I could be nude, because apparently they love that shit. Yeah, so fucked. This detainee was then threatened with the death of their children and the abuse of their mother while in this state. So, yes, they also several instances of mock executions were reported. The mental fuckery. Such threats have also been shown to induce fear and loss of control, recurring nightmares, and intrusive memories, which are strongly, believe it or not, associated with PTSD and major depression. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, wow, not a fan. Not a fan of that. I Researching this was very enlightening. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't fun, but it was like you can't look away. It's like a car crash. You're like, wait, what happened? And you just gotta keep going and digging and researching. And y'all,
Yeah.
this is like the crust. You know, in science class when you do like the Earth's core, it's shit around it, la la la. This was the crust. It is so much worse. Like, I mean, it's absolutely shit, but this was the introduction. It lasted for so long, y'all. And I think there was actually an article, and don't cite me right now, but they were trying to make deals with these people or get information about the architects behind 9/11 and, where can they find Osama and his little lackeys and this and that. And it worked. They got a lot of information from these people, but at what cost?
Hmm.
And
I
honestly,
doubt most of it was even like accurate.
I mean, you're right. A lot of it probably was just like saying anything to make the torture stop,
Yeah.
and um, I know that there was a reason behind they wanted to prevent further shit happening, but they also started the United States. I'm saying it, girl. I live here. We all live here. It began a war that was built upon lies. There were no weapons of mass destruction. There were not any. Colin Powell, what the fuck? But
And I mean,
regardless of,
also a lot of other things were put into place. Like obviously there was like tighter security in airports and like all these other
mm,
things that were preventative measures.
yeah,
So it's like at some point you have to get over the fear and say, we've done enough. You can't just keep
Hmm.
perpetrating more crimes.
like the ends don't justify the means, dude. Like that's just
Right.
you're
Yeah.
perpetrating the shit that you're torturing them. Like it's just so hypocritical, and it blows my mind because it is, I don't want to say awkward, that's not a strong enough word, but it's awkward to be American at points when you're like, I don't agree with any of this policy and procedure, but here I am. I was born here. Like, what do I do? Like, I'm finding this out and I'm trying to inform people of like, hey, just a heads up, this shit happened. Maybe we should talk about it. And it's uncomfortable. Like, I'm uncomfortable. We should all be uncomfortable together. Like, this sucks. So I know we've talked about it throughout, but any hot takes? I hit you fast and loose with this stuff, but what are your feelings, thoughts, takeaways from all of this? I know, take a beat. It's a lot, and I've had more time than y'all to take to process
I
it.
think, like, generally, like, yeah, my thoughts throughout were, you know, real. I feel like, it was a time where we were all scared, but we didn't know about it. I don't think it's right. Um, but I understand, like, why it happened, and I hope it doesn't happen again. That's really the sum of it.
Yeah, some of the documents on it are still classified, so we'll maybe never know
Yeah, we'll
to the
never really
extent.
know.
And that was, I don't want to say domestic because Guantanamo Bay isn't part of the states, whatever. Anyway, um,
Mm.
but the other prison I was talking about, Abu Ghraib, I think it's Abu Ghraib or Abu Ghraib, whatever. We'll figure it out. That was real bad too. And I didn't find out about that until I was older. And before
Mhm.
this, I didn't even know this part existed. I thought it was like Abu Ghraib, that shit was unreal. And like I said, we'll get into that in another episode. But the fact that it was so close to home and in a time frame where we were like cognitively like involved with the world, it's so crazy. And there truly was an article in 2024 where they finally made a deal with one of the like top architects for 9/11, and 20 years or so later they finally made this deal with this person. I don't know if they were in Guantanamo Bay, but I'm pretty sure they were. Pretty sure they
Mhm.
still were. So, yeah.
Uh,
I'm
So,
just wondering, like, when they decided to sanction torture, what they thought was going to be happening. Like, were you given updates on, like, hey, this is what we're doing? And if so, it's like, how do you allow that to continue? Like I said, like the psychological state of people who were perpetrating, these literal crimes against other humans.
yeah,
Like, how do you?
like the Stanford prison experience.
Oh
Yeah,
God, yeah,
experiment. It's like the
yeah,
Stanford prison experience.
yeah,
Experiment.
that,
Speak.
yeah.
Yeah.
All of these different things that it's like, okay, the psychological states of these people obviously also isn't very sound. But also, like you said, with that experiment, it's convincing people that they're just doing their jobs.
Hmm. I'm just taking orders, just following my orders.
Yeah.
That is, I could never be in any branch of the military because I, and I'm sure there are soldiers that struggle with it today. I'd be like, no, fuck that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. I'd be like, you want me to what? Mm-mm. 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 And getting dishonorably discharged or even a general discharge, that shit can
Hmm.
fuck your life up.
Wow.
Yeah. You want an honorable discharge at the very least.
Mm.
Anything other than that, I mean, you want like with honors if that's a thing.
Right.
Get a cord at graduation. I don't know. Like, like I just,
Get a couple ribbons.
yeah, I couldn't give that as an excuse. My ribbon said I could. Like, what?
Right.
No. But yeah, that was my quick chunking of enhanced interrogation techniques.
Wow.
It was awful. I'm so sorry to have made y'all hear me have to listen to it.
Oh, no,
Uh,
it's we need to know about it, you
yeah,
know.
hell yeah. Spread
It's
the
very
terrible news.
educational.
But don't forget to subscribe to our channel on all of our platforms. YouTube, Patreon, like I said, whatever you listen to us on. We greatly appreciate y'all support. Email us
Yeah.
again, like I said, at in the mix pod, mix with two X's at gmail.com. And this is Jess, Jasmine, and Renique with In the Mix.
Hopefully next time Jasmine will have something a lot more lighthearted.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, our next episode, Jasmine's got
Yeah.
covered in a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
stick with us and we'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks for joining us in the mix.